Somewhere beyond the recesses of time and space, two podcasters are set adrift in a machine, picking up transmissions of movies that are forgotten but not gone.
Okay, Truman, okay, maybe first, not Truman, listeners, I need to apologize for a little bit of the depths we went to in that last episode that I went to.
He's been in his quarters just doing deep breathing exercises for the past week. It's been amazing, really.
And I don't have any interest in going back to that place.
I do, fortunately. I'm twice as mad now.
There is one thing I want to mention, though, that didn't come up, I guess, tonally in that main episode.
I think a lot of bile came up in that main episode.
Yes, true. We didn't really talk about the depiction of Hitler in the movie.
Yeah, we didn't.
When he was first shown in the newsreel, I didn't know that he was going to make an appearance in the film itself, and I was just like, why would you cast an actor to show Hitler in a newsreel? Why wouldn't you just show fucking Hitler? You know, like a newsreel of Hitler. Joke was on me. I didn't realize they were casting an actual actor to depict him in a later scene.
Yeah, and it's also interesting that George Clooney, in one of his movies, would do that, because with Good Night and Good Luck, the whole thing is that Joe McCarthy is never in the movie, and they only use archival footage of him for all those scenes. So you'd think in this movie, in which Hitler does not play a major role at all, you could just have archival footage of Hitler.
And I kind of, like, or even just be a little more, artistic about it, and like, what if we only saw him from behind? Like, we don't. The problem we get here is like, there's no menace to Hitler, and in fact, there are two moments of Hitler in this that are kind of laughable and taken in a vacuum. Like, there's one moment where like we're in the final race, and the U.S. Olympic team comes from dead last and makes their way to the front of the pack, and it's a neck and neck race. In reality, they won by 2 seconds, but that's not dramatic for the movie.
No.
And there's this, like, as the boats are racing towards the finish line, and you don't know who's going to win, and you're holding your breath going, oh my God, they're going to do it? Are they going to do it? Like, you get these really trite, typical shots of any, picture a football movie where someone makes it and you're not sure if they made it to the end zone or not, and there's a big pile on, and it's only once everyone comes off of the football that you see, did he make it or didn't he, where everyone in the stands is kind of like holding their breath, kind of raising themselves out of their seat going, oh my God, did they do it? Is it happening?
Oh, yeah, I saw something just like that in a film called Leatherheads. Yeah, that is actually the climactic moment of that film, is a crowd of people not knowing who has the ball.
So it's weird. It's weird to see fucking Hitler in a gifable moment just kind of like rising out of his seat going, oh.
I'm trying to remember if I talked about this on the American Dreams episode, but like, if I were ever to be in a movie, the role that I would want is to be the friend of the person who is an athlete or performer, because that just means that like I'd spend an entire day shooting my entire part just like sitting in the bleachers surrounded by extras, alternately going like, or oh no, or oh yay, and the fact that Adolf Hitler is doing that in this is really, really unbelievable, seeing him.
Then in another moment right on the heels of that, what could have been a really interesting, like, the idea is interesting, the execution is not, where everyone in the world has to wait because they need to develop the photo. So like there's a
photo finish.
Yeah, a photographer rushing up these, staircase to a dark room to develop the photo and bring out the results, hand it to the chancellor, and the chancellor, is able to say who won. And like, there's another shot of Hitler, and it's just like, this man who has been given no menace in this movie at all, like, is just another dude who has to wait like everyone else. And it's just it's shocking in a way to see such a vile monster painted out to just be another sports spectator.
It is a real commentary there on the banality of evil. Do you think Hitler was also like using the public bathrooms at the stadium, and there's like one of those trough urinals, and he's like, oh, it's so hard to start when people are watching me. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh God. And just a side note that I always find historically interesting: the footage, some footage, not all of the footage, because there's a lot of footage of the Leni Riefenstahl documentaries. Includes some of the footage of Hitler that historians point to as evidence of him being on meth at the time. This kind of like shaking, and the movie tries to like paint it off as like he's excited about the event, but like he's clearly like tweaking out at the moment, just going, okay, I got it. What's the next energy? I got another bump. Okay, should I head back up to the booth?
That's a famous misconception. Hitler was actually just listening to Daft Punk at the time and really rocking out to it. He just loved those beats. Well, it is funny because like as soon as they develop the photo and announce that America wins, Hitler gets very mad, as I've heard he was wont to do, and he turns and he storms out of the stadium. He's just absolutely, this has steamed his beans. And now, I don't know, I'm not as versed on the history here. I don't know if Hitler actually stormed out of the stadium after this, but I'm going to say a cursed sentence. Trying to see this from Hitler's perspective, obviously it's a bummer that Germany gets second place in this race instead of first place, but also, from Hitler's perspective, a group of white guys beat him, so his central thesis is still proved right by this. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like, don't be that mad, Hitler. Don't be so mad, Hitler. That's all I'm saying.
One, the casting of Callum Turner as Joe Rance in this, a handsome, bucking, white guy, blonde hair, blue eye, is problematic in and of itself.
Have you seen the actual Joe Rance? There's a picture.
Yes, I have, because there are pictures littered through the book of it.
The real Joe Rance is, I must admit, sort of a cutie pie. He's like that.
Yes,
he's got a haircut you could cut your watch to, or set your watch to. I don't know why you'd cut your watch.
I'm okay. I'm going to promise everyone I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go to the dark place.
I think he's going to go there.
The dark place.
I think he's going to go to the dark place, because whenever he says he isn't, then he does.
I'm just going to gently mention that. You know who else Hitler walked out on without shaking the hands and meeting?
Yeah, I know. It was Jesse Owens.
It was Jesse Owens.
Yeah,
but you know what else? You know who else didn't congratulate Jesse Owens?
Franklin Roosevelt. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have very little sympathy for Hitler's busy schedule, not fucking greeting these 8 assholes.
I don't take anything that I was saying as sympathy for Hitler. I just don't think Hitler would have minded that much about losing a single rowing event to other white people. I think he'd be way more bummed about Jesse Owens.
Yeah, well, especially when he won 4 others, right before that one. But
yeah, exactly.
Okay,
he's just like, you win some, you lose some. Yeah.
I want to take us away from this conversation, and
why do you want to talk more about Hitler on our lighthearted comedy podcast that people routinely laugh at?
I want to talk about something else that we generally don't like, but is not as loaded of a topic.
We'll find a way to make it loaded. Sports,
I want to talk about sports movies. I have 2 questions for you. One, is there a sports movie you like? You listed a few in the last episode, but what's your quintessential sports movie? And I'm going to take Challengers off the table, because that's not a movie about sports. That's a movie about relationships that uses sports as its drive. I want to know a movie like Hoosiers. What is a sports movie that you like?
Yeah. No, you're right. Challengers is a cautionary tale about how if you get too horny, it can fuck up your entire life. I mean, a quintessential sports movie. Oh man, I'm gonna make Landon so mad with my response. Speed Racer, one of my favorite movies of all time. The auto racing that takes place in Speed Racer is admittedly a weird science fantasy version of racing, but the movie is very much a sports movie. It is about a guy who is in competition. There are multiple competition scenes throughout, and he is processing his relationships with his family and his grief over the death of his brother in order to be a better speed racer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I guess, racing sports. Is that what people would call that? Like, I mean, it's not, it's competitive and like, but like racing isn't an Olympic sport.
Yet.
But then again, neither's football, American football.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I mean, so no, I mean that would be my quintessential sports movie. But then in terms of a more, I don't know, traditional sports movie, I mean, I listed The Natural.
Sports, yeah. How about that? Team sports.
The Natural, I think, is that is very much the capital S sports movie, but it is about this, it's rooted in a character and his relationship with a team and the people around him. And by improving those relationships, he becomes able to hit a baseball into some lights. Yeah, I don't know. Like, name me a quintessential sports movie. You actually played sports, you might know.
So we're just talking sports. We're not talking Olympics. We're not even really talking about championship stuff necessarily. But, like, I got a few that hit it for me. I'm a sucker for the ragtag group. Like, the people who aren't very good, but, like, they have their own way of doing things. So, like, clearly League of Their Own, I mentioned that on the last one, is as good as, like, that sort of movie is. But, like, the little sloppier version of that, I really like the movie Slapshot.
I wish there was a movie called Little Sloppies that was like a Bad News Bears type situation.
Yeah, Slapshot works for me in a big way.
I mentioned Next Goal Wins in the last episode, which is a Taika Waititi movie about the Samoan World Cup team. And I enjoyed that movie. I don't think it's like a perfect film, but something that I did like about that and that I do enjoy in a sports movie is when it's not, we're at the world championship of everything. Like, this is very much about, like, this team has never won a game. They're trying to win a single game. And so it's all about the emotional significance that these people have placed on winning a single game. And after they win the game, spoiler alert, after they win the game at the end of the movie, they get completely creamed in all the other games, but it doesn't matter because they've achieved the thing that they set out to achieve. So I like it when a sports movie is about much smaller stakes.
Agreed. And that's why I'll point to a few others. The Longest Yard is kind of fun
just
in that regard.
Just because you weren't in it, that's
the
only thing
original
you like
one.
about
The one I was in was shitty.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was fine. It was, pretty forgettable, actually. Maybe it'll be on the show.
It had some great background actors in it. No, it's never going to be on the show because we talk about The Longest Yard and you being in The Longest Yard all the time.
That would be fucking weird. The other one I was going to point to what you just described, that defines that to a T, the Major League films.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not about the World Series. It's just about winning the pennant.
What is the pennant?
So there's the American League, there's the National League, and it's changed a little bit, the rules over the decades, but, like, you want to be the top 3 teams in your division. So there's 3 divisions within the American League and 3 divisions within the National League. Yeah. And you want to be the number 1 in that to enter into the run for the World Series. So you want to be, the pennant is number 1 in your division.
Okay. So they're just trying to succeed. Yeah, on just a regional level, they want to be successful.
What I like about the first Major League and even the second one is their motivation to go from, like, the worst team that's ever existed to winning the pennant is pure spite.
Great.
They just, the owner has taken over and, like, is gonna bank on them losing, and they're like, you know what? Fuck that lady.
Yeah,
we're gonna win and make her life living hell.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, yes, sports is a vehicle for spite and rivalry. I love it. I buy into that. Another sports movie I enjoyed, The Winning Season, starring Sam Rockwell. Where he's a down on his luck guy who's coaching a girls' basketball team, high school girls' basketball team that isn't very good, and it's just trying to win most of the games in a season. Again, it's about people getting through shit in their lives and not just look at them look at them play.
Here's one that I like that has nothing to do with competitiveness, but all about camaraderie.
Okay.
The Sandlot.
You know, I've definitely seen most of The Sandlot, but it's one of those I know. It's one of those things that I don't like to talk about a lot because people go, and also I'm like, yeah, because also it's one of those movies that it's like, well, I didn't really see it when I was 10, so 36-year-old me is not going to have some revelation seeing it.
That's fair.
But I
have one of those
like,
movies too, by the way.
Do you feel safe talking about it?
It's a sports movie.
Yeah? What sports movie is it?
I've never seen Rudy.
I've never seen Rudy either. Okay.
Oh, look at this. A healing experience.
A healing experience. Although also, is it even remotely surprising that I haven't seen Rudy? I mean, I don't know. Like, do I strike you as the kind of guy who'd be inspired by Rudy? Yeah, okay, but so no, The Sandlot though, that is about because that's a story about friendship and also about growing up, and I think from what I recall, the strongest parts of that isn't that the movie with the line like there was a day that you and your friends went out and played together for the last time and none of you knew it?
Oh man, probably. That feels like the vibe of that. I'm terrible with that, with quotes and stuff, so I can't say for sure. But.
Actually, I just came up with that quote on my own.
Oh.
I'm just a very profound and incredibly skilled writer, and that one is me.
But The Sandlot is all about like low stakes as far as the world is concerned, but the highest stakes as far as kids are concerned, because like this is their summer and their baseball goes over the fence of a terrifying man with a terrifying dog, and they spend the entire time trying to get their baseball back. Like, it's awesome.
Wait, so that's okay. I remember that from the bits and pieces I saw, like in school when we had a substitute or something, and they put on The Sandlot. I didn't that's the whole movie is them trying to get the ball back.
Well, not the whole movie, but a lot of the movie is that, yes.
I kind of thought that was just like one of many comic interludes in the movie. I didn't realize that a substantial portion of that movie is getting a ball back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then running. It's a whole thing. It's a great movie. That movie holds up for me.
Okay.
I could pull out other, instrumental sports movies that some hold up, some don't. Happy Gilmore, Space Jam.
Now,
would you count Teen Wolf? He's playing basketball in that movie.
Okay, but you know what? That movie, again, is more successful than The Boys in the Boat because it clarifies why he's really good at basketball. It's because he's a dang werewolf. Yeah, obviously. You know what? Sports movies that may not hold up well and may not qualify as sports. Drumline, starring Nick Cannon. Kind of the only marching band movie. Also, why aren't they making more marching band movies? There's like millions of people in America who have participated in marching band. You probably have a built-in audience there.
Before we go into the trailer game, I have one more sports movie question for you.
Okay.
What sport? Now we know the Olympics are including so many new types of sports. What sport would you want to see a movie about that you haven't seen a movie about?
I am being very genuine when I say I do want to see a movie about the Olympic breakdancing competition in the 2024 Paris Olympics.
I'm sure someone is working on it in an I, Tonya style.
But yes, but I want it to be like an I, Tonya type thing, or I want Taika Waititi to make it. Like I want the story of not just what was going on with Ray Gun, but also like, hey, there were refugees competing at breakdancing. What was their deal? Like, what was it like getting all these folks in a room together? I think that would be my first one, and then the only other Olympic sport, I think, this is always my answer about Olympic sports, pentathlon, the one where you are running, riding horses, swimming, shooting a pistol, and like one other thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a sport that was created to simulate the kinds of skills that a cavalry officer trapped behind enemy lines would need to have to escape, and it's like one of the least popular Olympic sports, and they're always trying to cut it, and I would like to watch a story about the people who have gotten really good at this Olympic sport that no one gives a shit about, trying to make sense of their lives. And you, sir?
I guess I haven't given this much thought, but off the cuff, I got two answers for you. One, even though I deplore guns and I don't, less conversation about them, the better, and certainly not glorifying the sport of them. But
you would not have liked having a conversation with me on a Perfect Dark message board in the year 2001.
There is something about the sharpshooter. You know what? I'm going to change it from gun to give me archery. Give me like I want to see like the Gina Davis story of her being the 5th best archer in the world. Like that I can get behind.
I'll take sharpshooting then. I want a movie about the 2024 pistol shooting competition where the Turkish competitor was just a dude in like gym shorts and a t-shirt who got silver just with no eye protection, no ear protection. He just came in and seemingly had a gun with him and did really well at it.
Give me the Cecil Gaines fictionalized version of that where it's like you have someone who is anti-guns being so good at guns.
Yes.
Give me the like hitman that's in there, as a ruse de guerre.
I love that Cecil Gaines is now just our shorthand for injecting saucy stuff into a true story.
The other, I'm nervous to say this one because of like being traumatized by the single shot in Challengers where she fucks up her leg, but there is something about the long jumps that like and the high bars that like I guess specifically the long jumps where like it scares me to watch what happens to their legs. Like how do you get your distance in those, and like the impact on your legs and what that does to your body. Like there's just something that happens with the human body in those long jumps that I, one, don't understand the physics of it, and two, the nature of the physicality makes me like cringe a little and like curl up.
So it seems more like you want to watch like an instructional health class type film about anatomy rather than a full-on dramatic movie about long jumpers.
No, I want a combo. I want it. I want my drama to have a little info in it.
Yeah, that's a bold new direction in cinema. It's part health class film, part riveting awards bait drama.
Oh god, should we play the trailer game?
Yes, let's play the trailer game.
Now, on one hand, this feels like it's going to be the easiest trailer ever.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I don't have much for it.
I don't either. I think there's going to be some rowing in the trailer. Okay, no, but I'm being coy. What I actually think we're gonna get a shot of old Hobo Joe in his burnt out car, so everybody knows that Hobo Joe is a hobo.
So you're saying specifically the car part?
Yeah, him in the car. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got a couple coach lines.
Okay.
If we're gonna do it sequentially, but please don't hold points to this. Him saying only 8 of you are gonna make the team. Most of you are gonna leave on your own.
Yeah.
In terms of like the toughness that it takes to be a rower. And then later in the trailer, or maybe midway through the trailer, the two coaches talking to each other, and he's like, I'm not worried about getting over the finish line. I just hope they don't tip the boat over or something like that.
I hope, yeah. That's good. Yeah, they're underdogs. They're poor. They're underdogs. Even their coach doesn't believe in them.
Do we get Hitler?
Oh, man, that is a powerful question. Do we get Hitler? I think we do, because honestly,
I don't think they'll go that far. It's a little too confrontational for what this is.
No, this is the thing. I don't know if they have the stones to fully put a swastika in a TV commercial anymore, and I think that's fine. But I think they can show you Hitler, but they won't show a swastika. I mean, hey, listen, I was totally right about the Hope Springs trailer being super sexed up. I'm sure I'll be right about the Boys in the Boat trailer being all Hitlered up.
All right, fine, fuck it. What do I care? This is a fun game we play. This isn't an Olympic sport. We're not competing with anyone but ourselves.
This is a fun game we play where we speculate about whether Hitler shows up in a movie trailer or not.
Oh god. Oh my god. This fucking movie. Okay, camaraderie. Right?
Yeah, singing.
Yeah, okay, I was going to ask, what do you think it's going to be? Is it singing around the trash fire? Is it going to be the dance where he's playing on the stage, the piano?
It's the dance, him playing the piano, and them in the crowd of revelers pumping their fists as they yell, "And we ain't got money." I don't know that we're actually going to hear audio of that. I think there's going to be music that sounds something like "Ba-na," or in the background as we see that happening. This is going to be just a flash of a bunch of different images.
Oh God! Did we really talk much about how shitty the score is? And I say that as the composer of this, Alexandre Desplat, I think that's how you pronounce his name, had one of my all-time favorite scores from Beale Street. Beale Street Can Talk. One of my favorite scores of all time. This score is cobbled together from just every 90s trope you can possibly think of.
Hey, look, maybe everybody just kind of came in, got their paycheck, and went home.
Yeah,
George Clooney did it. The composer did it. Everybody.
And why not ignore history in the meantime? Anyway.
Well, I don't know how the composer is going to acknowledge history, Landon. I don't know how he could write a little
the
ditty.
Imperial March, at least. I want to just mention real quick, because when else will I ever get to mention this? In the movie Race, on the score, every time Joseph Goebbels, who is a main character, as is Leni Riefenstahl, every time he shows up, like comically, even though it's not meant comically, there's just like the sound of a blade, like shink. Oof. And I'm like, at least you're going for something.
Yeah, like Joseph Goebbels is some kind of like Kill Bill character who's always unsheathing his samurai sword.
Oh God, oh my God. This is real people and real things. I'm just... All right, what else is in this trailer so we can get done with this fucking movie?
There's people in our world and our government who are out there venerating these people. We're just joking around about Hitler having a shy bladder or Joseph Goebbels being a weeb with a samurai sword. I think we're okay.
I know. I just don't want to contribute to that fucking cacophony of toxic bullshit. What else is in this trailer? Because we're so close to being done with the boys in the boat.
Let's see. What else could there be?
How many guesses do we have so far?
We have 5
4?
so far.
We have 5.
Yeah.
You know what? This is going to be the one instance where I am good with 5.
Guys, Landon hates thinking about this movie more than he ever has. Oh, wow. We're finally playing the game under the parameters that we laid out at the very start. Wow. What a day. What a day. Okay. Shall we watch this dang trailer?
Let's watch it. Let's do it.
Okay. I'll pre-roll.
Oh, this is another fucking trailer before the trailer.
Well, this is so boring. It actually needs to be.
The trailer starts now. Cool. Could it have started when I pressed play?
Have the frame story in the trailer. That's interesting. We see him as an old guy.
The depression hit everyone
That car.
hard. No jobs, no food.
Was this voiceover in the movie?
Looks like you
No,
still owe
it's
a
not.
balance on this semester.
From director George Clooney.
What's that about making some money?
You're the wrong team. You're on it, you get a part-time job included.
Why do you get a
place to live.
part-time job?
8-man crew is the most difficult team sport in the
Huh?
world. The average human body is just not meant for such things.
This is like Depression era cross training or CrossFit.
Beautiful speech,
Yeah.
Coach.
Okay, so we didn't say only 8 are going to make the team.
They're announcing the team
yet.
today. Are you gonna make it?
We rode out of need.
Come on, boys.
The need to stay
Here
in
we go.
school. The need to
No, not Won't Back Down
Won't back down.
from the Barnyard soundtrack.
Bringing an inexperienced boat to competition.
They said we couldn't.
That was our
compete
friend Ben
with
at the front of
school
the boat.
domination.
The Washington boat has taken the lead.
I cannot.
Seconds under the course record.
Since we're listening to it, I'm just gonna mention it.
Olympic kid.
I'm done with this fucking dramatic rendition of a pop song
Yeah.
underplaying a trailer.
Everybody else tired.
Sure.
It
It's
just
Ben.
gets stronger. We have a boat that I believe could qualify for an Olympic spot.
Hope you know what you're doing.
Okay. Oh,
They said we
swastika.
couldn't beat the Germans.
We gotta beat those other schools first, but
no Hitler.
Coach says we have a shot. Maybe we can roll as a team.
If you guys don't get yourselves figured out, you're not racing at
Hey.
all.
This is a
Oh,
fucking long
boys.
trailer.
That boat.
Well,
Sorry, guy. But they didn't understand who we were.
The show
Who
was in
is
the
this
spot.
talking?
wow, there was no voiceover in the movie, which now makes me thankful.
Yes.
Best buds. They're connected.
Kind of fighting on the train. They're walking out.
For what it's worth, I'm proud
Hitler?
of you boys.
You don't even
Inspiring. You missed the part where I told him not to tip over.
tip over.
Roll for your country.
One.
Roll for
Yeah.
each other.
Playing the piano.
Pounding on the side of the boat. Yeah. Interesting they chose not to show any of the Leni Riefenstahl movie shots in that trailer. But
Yeah. Interesting they chose not to show Adolf Hitler in this inspirational movie trailer. Truman. Okay.
Was that I say that's 1.5 for us.
Yeah, it was not a great showing. Like, literally, the only line they didn't use from his initial speech to the rowers was the only 8 of you are going to make the team bid. Everything else about how rowing is impossible and not natural, and so we 100% got Hobo Joe in the car, though. So I feel good about that.
Okay.
And yeah, I just told them not to tip the boat over. They give that a 0.5.
Oh, give that's a full point. That's what I meant. That's the moment I meant.
Okay, well then we've got 2 between Hobo Joe and the car.
I thought the 0.5 was them playing the piano on stage.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was just like a barely nothing.
Yes, no. I'll give us 0.5 for that. We do not get the whole we don't got money. Boy, I totally misjudged what music they were going to use in this trailer.
Me too.
This was the opposite of Bana.
Still inspirational though. I feel like that's the tone you were going for.
I don't think I have ever been inspired by the song Won't Back Down. That is no disrespect to Tom Petty, who I love. I just have had that movie really drilled into my head by movies that are desperate to convey that the protagonist will not back down. Okay.
Sometimes you need a strong man.
Well, one strong man was not in this trailer, and that man's name was Hitler, and he actually wasn't that strong. So yeah, 2.5 out of 5.
Ratio-wise, not one of our worst showings.
Wow, that is that's you in the sports movie at the end in the locker room after the team has been just decimated. Ratio-wise,
listen, we tried our best. And we got some points, and you know what? That's worth celebrating. We don't need this toxic nature of striving for number 1 every single time. It's about the fun and the journey we had getting to those 2.5 points.
Yeah.
And Lord knows we went through the depths of hell to get there.
It's you gather the whole team around and put their hands in, and just everybody on 3. Self-actualization. That's our sports movie. And it sucks. It makes even less money than The Boys in the Boat.
Oh my god. This fucking movie. I'm so happy to be done with it that I just want you to push the button for the next movie.
A bunch of people who were instrumental in getting this movie made lost a whole lot of money, and it probably really goofed up their year.
I can take solace in that.
Yes.
That makes me happy.
Okay, so now I'm going to push the button, though, and get this printer fired up and see what our season finale is going to be.
Oh, my God. Wait, hold on. Let's take a second to just revel in that. Like,
1 second you were so horny to finish the episode, and now you're like, oh, well, let's talk about it.
Because I don't have to talk about this movie anymore. I could kind of look at, like, wow, we're coming up to the final episode. Do you think the machine's going to let us go?
I think that maybe the machine was considering it, but after how we behaved towards this selection, it might have decided we needed a little more time in the tank.
Oh man, that's my fault.
It's not like, well, yes, it is, and hey, you can try and do better. I am blameless in all of this. I totally liked the movie and was very even-handed in my criticism. Look, but listen, if the machine doesn't let us go home, you know what? That's fine. We didn't have anything else going on, and things at home are kind of rough right now anyway. So maybe we stick around out here to just chill for a little bit while little while more with these forgotten movies.
Well, okay. I mean, this one brought us as close to home as we've ever been. Christmas of 2023. If the movie Memory Machine takes us to 2024, 2025, I mean, we'll be getting closer to home. Otherwise, we'll be getting further out in space, and maybe, to your point, we go start exploring better eras.
Yeah, no, you know what? I'm gonna push the button, and we'll just hope that this will take us to either the time period that we want to be in, or a really great, awesome era when awesome things were happening and cool people were running the show.
Okay, let's see where we're going.
Oh, good news. We're going to April 8th, 2005. A really good and fun time.
Well. Okay.
Who wouldn't want a do-over on the last 20 years, though? I mean, really, this will probably be good for us.
Some of them. Yeah, most of them, maybe. All right. Well, the clue says, grab your buddy. Okay, I've done that.
Yeah, we're here. We're set.
Yeah, okay, great. You're about to fall down a dark pit and have the adventure of your life.
I don't know, man. I don't think any adventure that I'm going to enjoy is happening at the bottom of a dark pit. But
I'm gonna say, there's no pit darker than the one we just emerged from.
Yeah,
so.
I know. You can't scare us, Movie Memory Machine. We've seen True Darkness. We've seen The Boys in the Boat. We can take anything.
Oh. Well, I'd like adventures. I'd be up for an adventure even if it's in 2005 after the nonsense that we just endured for the last 2 weeks.
You know, any adventure that doesn't begin with an old man remembering the entirety of the adventure will be
we don't know that.
with me.
We don't know that yet.
I'm visualizing it for, like The Secret, which was very popular in 2005.
Yes. Morphic Fields. Put that out into the universe and it will give back to us. All right. Well,
I guess may as well go do that then.
April 8th, 2005, here we come. I guess putting this awful episode to bed. For Truman Caps, I've been Landon Solano.
And for Landon Solano, I've been Truman Caps. Go for the gold, everybody.
Whoa!
Movie Memory Machine is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. Join our Patreon at patreon.com/gruntworkpodcast to keep the machine running. Theme song by Porky's Groove Machine. Rate us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. For more information on today's show, visit MovieMemoryMachine.com.